And welcome to an instant reaction of Thursday Night Football. I'm your host, Noah Love, and tonight, well, today it's Friday morning, but the game just ended between the Rams and the Seahawks. The Seahawks come back to win it 38-17, and they punch their ticket to the playoffs, and they also control their destiny for the number one seed on this on this great night. Uh Thursday night game of the year. First of all, game of the year. We let's just get into it. Game of the year. Seattle at a point was down 30-14. Early, obviously, Kenneth Walker, I think he had a screen that he broke and he almost scored, and then obviously he broke a run. I thought this game, it's six. I thought this game was gonna turn for the worse for Seattle when it's 16-14. You're right where you want to be, down two with the ball, third quarter. Darnold throws a near pick six. They score off of that. Then okay, you're driving down again, you throw another pick. The Rams go down and score to make it 30-14. And now you're thinking it's a two-score game still. It's two scores. I don't love how Donald's performed. The narratives aren't going to be good. Tomorrow, I literally put it out on my Twitter. The 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 narrative they're going to be the narratives about Darnold are going to be crazy. And they would have been warranted if he had continued to play the way he played. I switched my pick to the Rams and it was looking good, but is this the game where Sam Darnold casted out the demons? This is a huge game. This was a playoff game against a high caliber opponent. And in the second half, in the second half, for mainly the fourth quarter in overtime, when the Seahawks had to have it, Sam Darnold delivered the goods. Sam Darnold in this game, 22 of 34, 272 touchdowns. He had two picks. He was sacked four times. I also thought key in this game was Seattle was able to run the ball. They ran for 171 yards. I thought the Shaheed punt return was massive. It was massive. I thought that play was so massive because again at that point you're down 30-14. Yes, you're punting, you're getting the ball back. But you just don't you just don't love it. Right then and there. You're like, okay, we're gonna need to get a quick score. And well, you got the quick score. Then you gotta get the 2 point conversion. Got that. 2 point conversion. And obviously you got to stop, you come back down, you get the crazy 2 point conversion. It's a backwards pass that is recovered in the end zone. And then at that moment, we should have known it was Seattle game. That it's a stunner. It's plain and simple a stunner. You don't in this game like we got to think about what that third quarter was so it was so bad for Seattle. And in the fourth quarter, it just flips on a dime. They tied the game in 2 minutes. And then okay, you don't score. You have two drives to win the game. You don't do anything with it. And then Seattle comes back. Then the Rams come back in overtime. And we'll get to them because they missed this. And we'll talk about both teams' outlook, obviously. The Rams come down, they get touchdown. Nakua untouched. Nakua in this game, 225 yards. Career high. Torched them. Obviously no Devontae Adams in this game. Torched them. scored 37 points. Massive. But in this game, obviously, Seattle goes down. Darnold in overtime. It's a have to have it drive. Some of the throw to JSN on the sideline, the throw to Cooper Kupp to get them in the red zone. Obviously, the way they were able to run the ball late. And then obviously they're throwing a ball for a touchdown. On that last play, the tight end just slips it, and he catches the ball. I believe it was it Barn? It might have been Barner. I'm not sure. It might have been him. But the point still stands in this game. Like, with all the adversity they were facing, and it was looking bleak, and they just found a way to win. And look, and if you're Seattle here, you are now the number 1 seed in the NFC. You play obviously the Panthers on the road. Panthers will be playing for something, most likely. If you beat them, then you play the Niners. If the Niners take care of business, that'll most likely be a game for the NFC West in Week 18 that nobody's talking about. Obviously, if the Niners lose to the Colts on Monday night, it's kind of a moot point, unless obviously you win next week. It's kind of a moot point. So yeah, I mean, this is a heartbreaker for the Rams. This is another overtime game this season that if they don't win the division, they don't get the 1 seed. It's going to cost them the Niners game and now this one. If you're Seattle right now, you're in the driver's seat for the number 1 seed, and now you're looking at a situation here where that wild card weekend you're gonna have a bye. You're gonna have a bye, and in the NFC, that's just a wild state of affairs. If you're able to avoid one of those good wild card teams and just get a week off there to kind of rest up, heal up, and obviously get the home field, that's huge. So for Seattle, this was a massive game for both teams, but for Seattle to get the win, and just good for Sam Darnold, man. Great for Sam Darnold. The way he performed in this football game down the stretch, we just talked about it. Amazing, man. Now let's go to the Rams side. Brutal. 30-14. You can't lose that game. Look, I just praise Seattle. 30-14. It's simple. You can't lose that game. Mevis missing a kick. You obviously had the 2-point conversion. The punt return by Shaheed. There's so many plays. And Stafford was a little bit off at the end. There are so many things you can point to in this football game where you're just like, yeah, the Rams kind of blew this. I mean, they did. I mean, this is a brutal loss. And now you're probably going to be the 5 seed in the NFC. And you're probably going to have to win 3 road games to get to the Super Bowl. You're probably going to have to. Here you're going. Now, I will say this. Do I believe the way they're constructed they can win 3 road games? Yeah, I think Stafford's great. Obviously, I think he was great tonight. I still thought he outplayed Donald. Obviously, you got the run game, the defense. Here's what I'll say about the Rams defense. As you saw tonight, if you can hold up against their front 7, their back end can be had. You've seen it. Their back end can be had. Obviously, in this game, like, they were able to run it decently. They stuck to it. Stafford, when Stafford throws for 457 yards, you don't turn the ball over and you lose to a team that turns the ball over 2 times. They had tons of mistakes in the third quarter. This one, I mean, it's just brutal. You got. I mean, I don't know what other word I can use for it. So look, it's a great win, obviously for Seattle, but for the Rams, you're obviously devastated. And now, can you still get the 1 seed potentially? But you'd obviously have to win out. Seattle would have to lose to one of their two, and you would have to hope the Niners lose one of their obviously still remaining three. So yeah, I think what tonight showed you is how great this NFL is, and I think also what tonight showed you about Sam Darnold is the toughness of Seattle. Seattle, I already thought they were a Super Bowl threat. If Darnold has casted the demons away and could play well in big games, because this was a big game. Again, every big game he's had over the past 2 years, like late in the season, Lions game, not good. Then you go to obviously the Rams last year in the wild card, not good. Then you have the Rams this season, not good. In these big time games, he just has not stepped up and performed to the level of what he had been performing. I thought tonight he did late in the game. Again, when you had to have it, you got it. When you had to have it, when you absolutely say, you know what, desperately, we need this. We need a drive. They gave it to you. So props to Seattle Rams. It's an awful loss. Just because you're up 30-14 on the road, you know it's on the line. You can't, and I get that's a great football team there. You can't lose that game, man. That is a brutal way to lose. All right, everybody. This has been an instant reaction of Rams and Seahawks. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next time, see ya.